Hello board game brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode where I'll be letting you know of Kickstarters launching this week. Before we get started, I do want to mention that we have quite a few giveaways running over on the Discord, and if you want to check those out, I'll leave a link in the description below. But you can go ahead and click this little emoji here to get entered, and that's all you have to do. And there's only about 24 hours left to enter the giveaway to win a $100 credit to our sponsor, Kickstartergames.com. So you might want to rush over there and enter that giveaway, but we also have quite a few others as well. And if you got here too late, you can always subscribe so that you don't miss out in the future. And we are getting near the end of April, which means that Alex over at Board Game Co. is going to be posting his video very soon, going over upcoming campaigns over the next 30 days. And if you haven't subscribed to Board Game Co., you'll definitely want to do that, so I'll leave a link to that channel right up here. But for now, let's check out the Kickstarters. And the first campaign we have launches on April 26th, and it's called Impendium. And this plays 1 to 6 players and takes about 30 to 60 minutes to play. And this is a standalone expansion to the game Deluxe, which is a game that combines resource management and engine building. And in this game, players are alien species trying to escape a dying solar system. Players are going to be exploring and fighting for the remaining resources in order for their faction to survive. This game has an 8.2 on BGG, which is a really nice rating, and I think it's been pretty difficult to get, so this might be a good opportunity if this is something that you want to add to your collection. And Impendium is immediately following the events that happened in Deluxe, but instead of the universe collapsing, the universe is going to be expanding and players are going to be building it back up from the ash. And you can actually play this immediately after playing Deluxe using the winning players federation to create the starting factions and expand on that game. And in this game, players are diverging factions forming colonies across the galaxy. On a player's turn, they'll be moving throughout the universe, undertaking different assignments and building star colonies to generate resources and recruit new factions to enhance their abilities and their influence. Once a player controls enough of the newly constructed universe, they're going to win the game. This game offers a competitive, cooperative, and semi-cooperative mode, and the campaign is going to be offering both the deluxified versions of Deluxe as well as Impendium. And portions of the games can be combined. The faction cards from Deluxe can be used in Impendium. And there's also going to be a ton of Kickstarter exclusive deluxified components that you're definitely going to want to check out. And the next campaign we have is called Earth Rising, and this plays 1 to 6 players and takes about 90 to 120 minutes to play. And this is a cooperative board game where players are going to be working together to create a sustainable Earth within 20 years. Players will be balancing the needs of the people within the limitations of the planet and trying to reverse the damage done to Earth before the time runs out. This game uses area majority, a modular board, a time track, events, and variable player powers. And the next campaign we have launching on the 26th is called Dice Theme Park, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 75 to 90 minutes to play. And this is a dice manipulation board game all about creating and running your own theme park. And in this game, players are going to be competing for success by getting their visitors on the most exciting rides possible. Visitors are going to be represented by dice that are drafted each turn, and then hex tiles are going to be used to represent the rides, which players are going to be placing as they expand their park. This game features a unique dice cascading mechanism where the value of each visitor is going to be reduced by 1 for each ride that they visit. They can still continue onto other rides until their value is reduced to 0, and at that point they leave the park. This means that players are going to want to be strategic with the way that they place their tiles, but then they're also going to want to optimize their movement so that they activate the most rewarding rides. This is a standalone sequel to Dice Hospital, and if we compare it to that, this one's going to be a little bit more interactive and complex. So if you're a fan of Dice Hospital, but you're looking for something with a little bit more of a challenge, this is definitely one that you're going to want to check out. I have all the campaigns linked in the description below, and you can go ahead and click to get notified for any of the campaigns that interest you. And the next few campaigns are launching on the 27th, and the first one we have is one that I thought was launching last week, but it got pushed off to this week, and it's called Harsh Shadows, and this plays 1 player, and this is a game of espionage where players are an agent trying to catch a spy. You're going to navigate a 3x3 grid of locations while revealing the discovery cards located beneath them. Discovery cards can grant you special items or give you clues to help you catch the spy. The spy is also going to be moving around on their turn, and they're going to be dropping additional discovery cards as they move around the board. If the spy ever moves to your location, you have to discard a card, and if you can't discard a card, then you lose the game. There's going to be certain items that you need in order to win the game, and if you have to discard one of those, then you also lose the game. Once the discovery card deck is empty, the spy is going to try to escape, so to win, you must have placed a bug on the spy, located the 3 item cards needed to win the game, and then get to the spy's location before they try to escape. And next we have the King's Trial, and this plays 2 to 5 players and takes about 50 to 90 minutes to play. And this is a family weight game where a dragon has entered the kingdom and is getting in the way of the king's food supply. To remedy this situation, the king will reward any adventurer who can get rid of the dragon by making them heir to the throne. On a player's turn, they can travel the realm, meet with various critters, complete quests, battle enemies, collect gems, and hopefully be the first to bribe the dragon to leave the kingdom. This game allows for semi-cooperative play, negotiation, card drafting, dice rolling, events, and some take that as well. And next we have Cyber Odyssey, Breach the Unknown, and this plays 2 to 4 players and takes about 90 to 150 minutes to play. And this is one that was kind of difficult to find information on, but it also looks very interesting. And this is an open world cyberpunk miniatures game where players control their own team of special agents investigating a murder in the open world of New Eden. I was finding some conflicting information whether or not this is a cooperative game, but it says here that this is team-based, so I think it's going to be partly cooperative within your team. And this game is going to feature a map with 5 different districts and quite a few possibilities. On a player's turn, they can purchase new and stylish equipment, visit bars and shows, take part in illegal street races, fight, broker deals, and eventually discover clues to uncover the murderer in their investigation. I wish I had more info on this one because it really does sound interesting, and it's from the same team that brought you games like Oko Chronicles, which has a really nice rating on BoardGameGeek. And I do know that the King of Average is going to be posting a review video over on his channel very soon, so if you want to check that out, make sure to subscribe to his channel, and I'll leave a link to that right up here. And next we have Lost Empires, War for the New Sun, and this is a 2-player head-to-head card-driven area control game with a focus on tactical movement and deck construction. And in this game, players are going to be controlling one of the last remaining factions battling for dominance on an alien planet. And players are going to be designing their deck based on the cards available for the faction that they choose. Players will be fighting for limited resources and spending command tokens to deploy troops across the planet to control objectives and destroy enemy units. Doing all this gains you artifacts that are used to build a worm gate and ultimately securing your dominance over the planet and winning you the game. If this sounds interesting to you, definitely check out Colossal Games' website because they're currently running a giveaway where you can win yourself an all-in pledge. It also looks like this will be offered on Tabletopia, so if you want to try before you buy, definitely check out their campaign because I'm sure they'll have a link for that you can check out for yourself. And next we have Judgement Eternal Champions, and this plays 2 players and takes about 30 to 90 minutes to play. And this is the 2.0 version of Judgement, which has a 9.5, which is just a silly rating on BoardGameGeek. But this is a MOBA-inspired tabletop miniatures game where players are going to be playing the role of a god who summons mortal heroes to fight on their behalf. The artwork and miniatures have a lot of detail, and this is some of the nicest artwork that I've ever seen. The accomplishments of your heroes are going to be rewarded with growing powers, abilities, and special artifacts that grant new options on the battlefield. The battlefield will be filled with challenging terrain and monster spawns that attack either player that's within reach. It looks like there's a lot of attention to detail, and the miniatures are going to be offered in both resin and PVC options. I just want to make a quick mention to our sponsor where you can head over and get 15% off your entire cart by using the coupon code SHELFCLUTTER. So if there's any games that you're planning to buy, definitely check out Kickstartergames.com because they have a wide selection for you. And you can save a ton of money with that coupon code, and you can also enter into monthly giveaways. And all you have to do to get entered into those each month is sign up to their newsletter. And the next campaign launching on the 27th is our Discord pick of the week, and this one's My Father's Work. And it's also my pick of the week as well. And this is a worker placement where players are going to be competing mad scientists, handed down their father's estate and a page from his journal of experiments. The game plays over 3 generations where each player's journal and estate will get passed down to their child and then again to their grandchild. Because of this, players are going to have to balance their study with their experimentation because at the end of each generation, all of their experiments and resources are lost to time until their child begins the experiments once again. This game has some really nice artwork, and each player is going to get a couple recessed boards. One's going to be tracking your estate, and it's going to have some areas where players can upgrade their estate with different tiles. There's different tiles offered throughout the game, and it allows for each player to upgrade their estate differently. Players also get another board that's going to track their accomplishments in their journal, and this essentially acts as a skill tracker that will help players to complete their experiments. Players are going to be gaining points by completing all these experiments, and the player with the most points at the end of the 3 generations wins the game and becomes the most revered, feared, and ingenious scientist the world has ever known. This game looks like it'll have some really nice premium upgrades, and that includes some minis, and it was the most anticipated game of 2021 over at Man vs. Meeple. And they put out a whole playthrough, so if you're interested in seeing more on this game, I'll leave a link to that on the screen now. And just a heads up that this one does use an app, and it looks like the game will depend on it because it remembers the different decisions the players make, and it also instructs the players on how the town progresses and to which page to turn in the book. It sounds like there's going to be quite a lot more to this app than what I currently understand, and the way that it's implemented in the game is going to be quite different from anything that you've ever seen in another board game. So even if you're not a huge fan of app integrations, this one might still be worth checking out. So if this one sounds interesting to you, you can go ahead and get notified on launch and check out the campaign once that goes live. Also on the 27th, we have the Great Sieges Solitaire game series, and these look like they're all going to play somewhat similarly, but there's going to be a few differences between the different games. These are all designed with solo first, but I believe that the Siege of Quebec and the Siege of Syracuse both support two-player play as well. And for the Siege of Syracuse, on a player's turn, they're going to be issuing an order from their available options, and the order is going to get carried out based on their strategy and their current situation. The choices made can eliminate troops, build walls, reduce morale, and cause events to occur. Many events can happen from a single choice, as they can cause many actions and reactions. This game has multiple endgame criteria because each player has their own asymmetrical win condition that they can achieve, but then the game can also end if any player's morale reaches 0, and at that point, the other player wins. You can play the game on either side of the battlefield, which is going to require different strategies, making the game feel very different. I believe each of these games has 3 levels of difficulty, so you can adjust how challenging you want the game to be. And then on the 28th, we have Gare, Relous, which is a 2 to 6 player party game that takes about 20 minutes to play. And this one's only going to be offered in French, but its primary mechanisms are betting and bluffing. And the title pretty much means beware of the jerks. And that's what the theme is all about. You're trying to get all the jerks to leave the party. And the next couple are launching on the 29th, and the first one is Dominations, Road to Civilization, the Deluxe Edition. And this plays 2 to 4 players and takes about 60 to 120 minutes to play. And this is a game of civilization building based on tile placement and engine building. And in this game, players take on the role of a primitive tribe that they're trying to grow into a thriving nation. Players are going to be expanding their population, accruing knowledge points, and placing their land tiles. Knowledge points are the main currency in the game, and players are going to use that to grow their nation and upgrade their cities and monuments. A game plays over 3 rounds, and each round represents 1,000 years of history. A player's turn is going to consist of 3 phases: the grow, the build, and the develop phase. During the grow phase, you're going to be placing land tiles to gain knowledge points, and then during the build phase, you're going to construct cities and monuments to increase your influence, improve your knowledge points capacity, and gain special abilities. And then in the develop phase, you can acquire mastery cards, which represent skills and disciplines that your society is becoming good at. They open up new possibilities and increase your power, and they also form a civilization tree to show a little bit of history of your nation. This campaign is going to be adding a new expansion that adds glory and corruption mechanisms to the game. It's also going to offer a big box storage solution and many new deluxe components. This game did get a seal of excellence from the Dice Tower, and it is a more difficult game to find, so this might be a good opportunity to jump in on it if it's one that you've been looking for. And there also is a tabletop version of the game, so you can go ahead and play it for yourself to be sure if this is a game for you. Next on the 29th, we have Reventure, Orbtale, and this is a competitive game for 2 to 6 players that takes about 20 to 40 minutes to play. And this is a game where players are trying to retrieve 4 magical orbs in order to win the game. This is a card-driven party game, and players will be able to attack and steal orbs from the other players. And if you are killed by another player, you are resurrected so that nobody's eliminated from the game. The Board Game Geek page calls this game a game with 100 endings, and then the campaign page says something similar to that as well, but I'm not sure exactly how the different stories and endings are incorporated into the game. And then on the 30th, we have Azrah, War of the Heralds, and this is a 2-player head-to-head game that takes about 30 to 50 minutes to play. And in this game, players are celestial beings known as heralds, and it's your job to protect your realm. Players each build their own fantasy party using a roster of guardian characters, and then they use their party to defeat their opponent. This game features elements like deck building, drafting, and resource management, as well as a party-based combat system. Both players start with 5 health, and the objective of the game is to reduce your opponent's health to 0 in order to win the game. And those are all the campaigns launching this week, but don't leave yet because we have a couple really awesome giveaways to announce. And these are the easiest giveaways to enter that you'll ever see because I just do these as a way to give back to all of you. I'm not asking for anything, so you don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe, you don't have to share, you don't have to sign up to anything. The only thing you have to do is leave a comment down below because I do need some way for you to enter the contest. I do offer some giveaways on the Discord server as well as a fun little thing for the members over there. And the same thing goes over there. It's really simple to enter. All you have to do is click an emoji and a winner will get auto-drawn in 7 days. And the first giveaway we have this week is a pledge for Imperial spells and Steam along with the new expansion, the Far Corners. In this game, players use magic and trains to traverse a mystical world. Players are going to be expanding their network by creating routes to different cities and locations to gather and deliver exotic goods. Whenever a player completes a contract, it's going to upgrade their company and introduce new abilities and redefine how the game is played. This campaign is also offering some really nice deluxeified upgrades, including these really cool miniature trains, so definitely check it out if that interests you. And this giveaway is for the Conductor Pledge, which comes with the core game as well as the Far Corners mini expansion. And because this is the only giveaway I'm going to be offering on YouTube this week, I don't have to get that fancy with the comments, so I'm just going to make this super easy to enter, and all you have to do is leave any comment you want in the comment section below. And the next giveaway we have is for Hidden Leaders, and I'm going to be offering this giveaway over on the Discord server, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below. All you have to do is check out the giveaways channel and click the little emoji under the post. And this is a competitive game for 2 to 6 players in a world where the Emperor just died and the nation is on the brink of civil war. Each player has an alliance to 2 of the 4 warring factions, and each player is going to be trying to get one of their allied factions to win the game. The winning faction is determined by the configuration of the tokens on this power board at the end of the game, and players are going to be influencing that power board by playing different cards to move those tokens up and down the track. There is an element of deduction here because players aren't going to know what factions the other players are supporting, and there is some overlap between the players. Some cards you play will be visible while others will be hidden. And if a faction wins that has multiple allied players, it's the player with more cards of that faction that wins the game. And this giveaway is going to be for a pledge for this game, and like I said, all you have to do to enter is check out the Discord in the description below. And now let's go ahead and draw the winners for last week's giveaways, and to draw a winner I use this fancy application here. And all these extra names down here are bonus entries for my Patreon subscribers. If you like this sort of content and you want to support the channel, definitely go ahead and check that out. And I'll leave a link to that in the description below. So let's go ahead and grab the comments and draw a winner. And for this one, I'd ask viewers to let me know if they brewed their own beer, what would they name it? And our winner is Stephen Howell. Congratulations, Stephen. Just email me at adam@shelfclutter.com and we'll get that pledge all sorted out. And once you brew that beer, make sure to send a sample my way. And the next giveaway we had was for connecting flights, and for this one, I'd ask viewers to let us know what must-have item they always take with them whenever they go on a plane. So let's go ahead and draw that winner. And the winner is Pablo42, and they say they're Nintendo Switch and earphones. Technically that's 2 items, but as long as you're playing Breath of the Wild, I'll let it slide. And that's it for this week. Until next time, keep that shelf cluttered and the table full.